Hey there, and thank you so much for being on my channel. My name is Sola. Today, we're going to be talking about holistic self-care. We're going to be debunking some self-care myths. If that's something that you are interested in, let's get going. Okay, so I'm very excited. This is my first official video. You know how it goes. I've shot a few videos, but this is the one that I'm really trying to make sure that I iron out correctly, because it's the whole thesis of my work, whole thesis of what I write about and take photos about and blog about and the whole 9 yards. So we are talking today about holistic self-care. And so just as a fun way to segue into that, we are going to be debunking some self-care myths. You've seen them. You've probably interacted with them. You've probably done a few of them yourself, but I really wanted to make sure that we talked about it. Before we get started, like I mentioned, my name is Sola. I'm a taproom general manager, photographer, writer, a little bit of everything. And I have gone through a holistic self-care journey. I am currently still going through a holistic self-care journey, which is one of the myths that we're going to talk about. But I wanted to bring it to a new platform. And so that's why I'm here on YouTube. I really want to get your opinion. I really want to have a nice discussion in the comment section. So definitely make sure you do that. If you feel so inclined, please like and subscribe. Only after watching the video, only if you feel like it resonates with you. I have some notes here. So I'm going to be referring to them. So if I'm looking down or around, that is why. As always, I'm going to say as always, but as always, I am not a perfect messenger. But I really hope that, sort of the spirit of what I'm trying to convey pops up out of it, comes up out of it, so that we're all on the same page and we're all just living our best life. We're all becoming our own icons and starting our self-healing and self-care journey off on a good start. So if that sounds good, let's get into it. So before we debunk some myths, let's talk about what holistic self-care is. Holistic self-care describes a set of rituals and practices that aids us in healing ourselves and loving ourselves and just being our best selves. So I say rituals and practices because they're different and they involve a lot of different things, which we will be getting into sort of in this video, but also like throughout the entire channel. Like, we just really want to talk about how do we do things that nurture us and enrich us and improve us. And when we say the self part of self-care, how do we do that? Well, how do I do that for me? And then how do you do that for you? It's super customizable for you because it's self-care, right? Cool. So I'm not here to tell you who to be. I'm here to tell you how to feel confident being you. I know we have a lot of examples through social media, other forms of media, people around us. We see other people living well and we're like, I want to go and do that. Like, I want to be over there doing that. But that may not necessarily be your path. There's this really great quote. I'm going to read it so I don't mess up. That really talks about following your own path. And it's along the lines of, it's better to do your own dharma or your own path imperfectly than to do somebody else's perfectly. So it's better to do your own dharma imperfectly to do somebody else's dharma perfectly. I'll leave the quote in the description so we can talk about it a little bit more. But that's sort of the whole idea here. It's the holistic, which means practices and routines that encompass a lot of different things. Self being who you are, what you need to be following, your own path. And then care is how you nurture and enrich yourself. So that's breaking it down. But let's get into these self-care myths that we have probably seen, or maybe we even believe, about what self-care is. So the number one myth is that holistic self-care is only accessible to people with money. I can definitely understand where this myth comes from because that's what we're seeing. If you look up self-care, if you look it up on Google, if you look it up on Instagram, you are immediately looking at these people living lavish, fantastic lives. And as cool as that is, I mean, we all want to live that way. That's not a good representation of what self-care looks like for everyone. So that jet set life, that luxury life, like, it's good, it's cool, it looks amazing, it photographs super well. But that's not actually what self-care is. And if you do not have access to funds to live that lavish life and do those lavish staycations, that doesn't mean that you can't participate in the act of self-care. So that is the myth. Number one myth, that it's only accessible to people with money. 2, it's only something that you do every once in a while. It's a face mask here. It's brunch over there. It's an $80 serum over here. In reality, self-care is something that we do every single day, whether it be consciously or unconsciously. It's something that you wake up and decide to do every waking moment. Does that mean that you're like constantly on this hamster wheel of like, I have to heal, I have to heal, I have to be better, I have to be better? No, it's not that. I mean, there's balance in everything, like I said, unconsciously and consciously. But treating self-care as just a treat yourself every once in a while sort of gig is actually it's not good. It's something that you got to wake up and decide to do, those practices and rituals to enrich yourself every single day. Third thing, sort of ties in with the first thing, requires a lot of money. It doesn't. Period. Roll the credits. Like, it does not actually require a ton of money. However, I like to think about holistic self-care as, there are things that you're going to need to, purchase or buy or invest in. And so I don't like to think about it as spending a ton of money on, a $400 jade roller or something like that. But if you invest in yourself and you save money to make sure that you're buying certain things that will truly enrich you and your journey, then it may require money, but it doesn't require a ton of it. And it also requires being smart about what you're investing in and being smart about the items that you're choosing to bring into your energy source. Another myth, glancing down at my notes, another myth that we constantly see is that self-care is a variety of different fad diets and fitness crazes. Yep, I'm looking at you like fashion magazines and squat Twitter. Is that a thing? Squat Twitter, not squat Twitter, squat Instagram. Everybody does not need to be vegan. Everybody does not need to be plant-based. Everybody does not need to be keto. You need to find what works for you. And on the same thing with the fitness crazes, if you don't want to run 5 miles every day in the spirit of self-care, you don't have to. I'm going to go right back to sort of the beginning of the hypothesis here, the beginning of the theme here. And it's what is good for you? What is your path? And so if fitness crazes and fad diets, first of all, are not sustainable, so it's not something that you can do every day to nurture and enrich yourself, get rid of them. Get rid of them. You don't need them in your life. Like, you don't. So I do want to, big up, being healthy and introducing movement into your body, because I think that's important. I think that is an element of self-care. And that's the part of self-care that is not the fun and sexy part. But it can be fun and it can be sexy depending on what you're doing. But it should be something that you decide to do and something that you decide to implement that is going to be sustainable. So a self-care myth is these fad diets, is these fad, fitness things. It's things that don't really serve you, that you don't actually connect with. And sometimes that's like, oh, you take care, you look thin or you look healthy and fit. So like, that's all you do. That's the whole self-care journey. Like that, I know this person takes care of themselves because they're skinny and they look in type of way. That's not true. That's not true. Like you can be like healthy looking, like quote unquote healthy looking, and still be a mess inside and out. So self-care is not only just how you're exercising and the food that you're putting in your body. It is part of it when you are doing so in a way that truly nurtures you inside and out. And the last self-care myth that I want to debunk is that self-care and your self-care journey is always pixie dust and rainbows and positivity at all costs. That is actually not true. That is actually like severely untrue. And if you think that your self-care journey or your holistic self-care journey is just gonna be rainbows and butterflies all the time, oh, honey. Oh, girl, it's not. Look, it's not. It's not gonna be that. It's drastically not gonna be that. There's gonna be some parts of knowing yourself and knowing what you need that is gonna take you sort of, for lack of any other better term, into like the shadow realm. Not like the shadow realm. I mean, it depends on like what kind of spirituality you're into, but you're gonna have to do some hard work. You're gonna have to stand up for yourself. You're gonna have to feel angry and sad and wild and all of those things. There's so many different emotions. So if you think holistic self-care, the goal is just for you to be like zen and positive and soft-spoken all the time, that is not a holistic self-care view. That is sort of this toxic positivity that is usually really shelled out to women, but it's under the guise of it being healthy. If you need to raise your voice, if you need to set boundaries, if you need to get a little angry to get your point across, if you need to leave people who do not need to be in your life, you're gonna have to do that from a place of loving yourself. And that does not always look like positive and just ignore the haters and all of those other toxic passivity sort of things. You're gonna have to dig in there. You're gonna have to clap back sometimes. And that's all within the realm of holistic self-care. Thank you so much for watching. I know this video is pretty short. I wanted to keep it nice and short because we're going to be really digging deep into some larger topics later. But I just want you to know that if you are here, if you're at the stage in your life and you really want to think about, how do I be better for me? How do I change certain patterns and break certain cycles? I'm really excited for you to be on this journey or to begin your journey, or maybe you already have, we're always halfway through our journey. But I want to let you know that you're not alone, and I'm doing it. I'm not perfect with it. But trying is such an important part. So thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. And yeah, we're gonna have fun. We're gonna have fun. It's not gonna be like we're perfect little choir singers and we live this life of just no strife and no conflict. We're gonna crack into it. We're gonna get real about it, and we're going to continue to debunk some of these myths, especially some of these myths that are, that attack us as women and tell us a way to be. And we're gonna discover a lot of truths about ourselves. So if that sounds good, please consider subscribing and liking this video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.